What's up, folks? This is Panama Steve right here with Pacific Vibe Studios, and we have the one and only Allegiance straight out of San Jose. Welcome on in, gentlemen.
Thank you.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Long time coming. Congratulations on a great show that you guys just did the other day right here in King and Story. Legendary. First off, I want to introduce Christian, a.k.a. El Padrino Street Signs. And we have Carlos, a.k.a. Chucky. We got Javier, a.k.a. OG Javi. And we have Ramon, El Señor Patino. Welcome, all of you gentlemen.
Thank you.
So, first and foremost, congratulations. And it's very interesting how, weren't you the first one to say that it was Story and King and not King and Story? And they ended up naming it King and Story anyway. So, yeah, hey, man, before we start kicking it off about it, I would love to hear all of your guys' story individually on, like, who you are before you became El Padrino Street Signs and the established gentleman that you are today.
El Padrino Street Signs started back in 2020 with the vision of doing street signs. We started doing a couple street signs, out of the house. It blew up. We started hitting car shows. We started hitting, pop-ups, and it took over them all. It became who we are now. It was a challenge. We go to, different states, different cities, and to be able to bring a product that a lot of people love, it's real good. It's an honor, to be able to fulfill a custom street sign that, that nobody will have or maybe thought about, having something customized to their preference or to their own, customization that we create for them.
That's beautiful. But tell us a little bit about before you became El Padrino Street Signs.
Oh, man.
You're from here, right here, San Jose, no?
San Jose, born and raised in San Jose. I grew up, on the east side of San Jose. First of all, I started, lowriding when I was 12, 13 years old with the car club named Inspirations. They accepted me, they brought me around, taught me, the trades and the tricks, and the whole history, behind lowriding. At the same time, when I was growing up with them, I grew up with Chucky and Ramon himself too. They got to know me when I was like, 12, 13 years old. And, it was something that, it came, through the blood, you get me, like, and swear, you get me, being part of, lowriding. My parents always told me, hey, you better not be hanging around with those cholos. You'll be hanging around those guys across the street. But
And that's exactly where you were hanging up.
that was exactly. And now, to be able to, look back and tell my mom, I'm like, hey, Mom, look what we're doing for the cholos now, and for the people, okay, don't be hanging around with them. It tells a lot, you get me, that we're part of. So yeah, there's a lot, to the story, but no, wait for another day. No, wait for another day.
So Carlos, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, born and raised on the east side, King of Biscayne. I've been into lowriders back in the day, in the 90s, but then once the big wheels came in, I switched up and just been riding big wheels for now.
I saw that. What you throw, some 26s on there?
26 is on the money.
Yeah, it's definitely unique here in San Jose because everybody's got the 13s. Even if you got 14s, they're like,
We always talking.
This fool doubled up.
Yeah, but nah, I like the lowrider scene. I've been selling cars to the lowrider people for a while, so everybody knows who I am. Some people know me as Carlos. Everybody, real people from out there know me as Chucky. I've been around. I'm not new to the game.
What about you, Javi?
Same thing, born and raised east side, right there by Welch Park, King and Tully. Same thing, been low riding since, I don't know, guess what, like 90, 91, when I bought my first, got 53 Bel Air, not the one I have now, but I still got it. I used to go to school in that car. We used to laugh at me back then, people weren't into bombs back then, you know what I mean? Everybody was into more, was it I-Rods, mini trucks, something like that, People used to always kind of laugh, like, what the hell are you driving that car for,
So you got 253s.
Yeah. The other one I tore down years ago it got going and chrome undercarriage, full frame, painted, everything. But, with the kids and all that stuff, it just on the back burner for a minute, you know. Eventually, I'll get back to it.
So I'm assuming that one's a hard top.
Yeah. So like I said, that one's been sitting there years. I mean, I got everything for it, ready to paint it. I mean, it's been ready. Just like I said, no sense to paint and just sit there, you know, until I'm ready to start putting that thing back together.
That's badass. My cousin has 256s.
Oh, yeah.
And then individuals like yourselves, you refer to them, oh, the green one. Are you talking about the red one? I thought that's real cool. Patino, tell us, where you from, man?
I'm from San Jose, bro. Lived all my life in San Jose, and graduated from Silver Creek High School. Started low riding when I was like 11 years old, man. Bought the low rider bike, and
Mira, te ganó.
Yeah.
He got you on that already.
I was already drinking and smoking right 11 years old.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so I mean, graduated. from
That
Silver
explains a lot.
Yeah. Got my first cutlass, for high school. I was pretty much like the only one out there besides Delegados with their candies. I was out there with my primer. My Alpine pull-out stereo, thinking I was all cool, walking around with it in school, and then graduated, did some telecom there, just got into the towing business, Patino's Towing. Did 25 years, and I'm retired now.
That's what I heard. So congratulations.
Well, thank you.
So you guys went to school with the Delgado brothers?
Yeah.
What school?
Silver Creek.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I'd love to hear your guys' story individually. And I would love to hear what was the inspiration and what drove you to actually hold an event on King and Story like nobody ever has. I gotta say, you stepped up to the plate with that one, Christian. This was your idea because I know Christian for a while. We used to work together, so he came and talked to me about doing some video production on the event. So I talked to him when he first had the idea. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you and what made you do it right there at that epic location.
I have no words right now. You know what? It was a vision that we had, with the guys. We talked about it, a couple weeks before we started, man, what are you like? I'm off already.
I gotta put you on the spot too quick. All right.
I mean, originally, like you said, it was planned to be at SAP Center from the get-go. That's where we at. But it was, kind of, the squirrel never stopped running in his head there. It gets Spirit just always trying to, this and that. And he just came at us and told us, hey, what do you think about doing it on King and Story? And we were like, oh, shit.
No, he said Story and King.
Yeah, what was your guys'?
We entered it by. I'll let them answer that one right now. I'm like, you got me there.
Story and King, huh?
Well, he said that, but us three outvoted him. So he had no stories. They had a King Story. That was our joke. We did talk about that. That was one of the things.
It's hilarious. I think that whole thing went viral
Yeah.
because it's very controversial.
Yeah.
And I never analyzed it to the point where you guys did. Remember the day we got together? The day we got together right there to do the promotional video, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like broken down. Well, it depended where you drove from, right? Or that was like, you guys really thought about this.
Yeah.
I know. I believe it. It's been like that. I mean, since I was a little kid, people thought was, when you say, "Oh, King and Story," it's like, nah. People thought, yeah, the OG back in the day when I was a little kid. No, it's Story and King, or it's vice versa. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh shit. You know what I mean? You just never knew which way it went. Which way to say it. But for us, it was King and Story.
Right now, go back to the question you just asked. We were supposed to have an event at the SAP Center, and once we were, talking about it and started visioning it, why don't we move it to somewhere else more iconic? There was a question that my son brought up. Why King and Story? Why does everybody talk about King and Story? Because for the past 2-3 years, there's been a whole controversy about, is it King and Story or Story King? And that was, one of the things that my son said, why don't you guys do something like King and Story? You guys are talking so much about King and Story. And that's when, brought up to the guys. I'm like, hey, you guys don't want to do something about something huge? Let's do something, epic. Well, what if we move the event to King and Story? And what did you guys say that day? Shoot it. Let's get it. What was your words, Javier, that day?
It's crazy. That's the thing. My thought was like, holy, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, like, serious, like, that's, to do it there. I mean, like anybody else, man. You think, damn, can it be done? You know what I mean?
Right.
Not just
Is this even possible?
Yeah, it's not just a, back, back street. It's a major hub. It's the, it's the heart of, East Side. So
Two major
to close that,
intersections.
to close that off, you're disrupting a lot. Traffic, bus routes, just everybody trying to go to the store, grocery store, Target, everything.
Did you think about all that? Not at first, huh?
What do I always say? Don't worry.
And that's and that's when we worry. You know what I mean? When he says that, we're
Right.
It's okay. Yeah, don't worry.
This guy loves challenges, man.
That's what it is. Challenges is one thing. You know me already. Now you guys know. Challenges is one thing that I like. I like challenges. You hear me? And I think this was a challenge that literally was a challenge. It was not a challenge. It was a mission.
Was this your biggest challenge so far?
No, my biggest challenge was asking my father-in-law for my wife's hand. That was the mission. That was that can I never been topped out, but you get me. This will be, I want to say, my third challenge in life, but you get me. It's something big. You get me. King's story and the history that it holds and it has, it means a lot to the community. It means a lot to the people. Like I said, I grew up, with inspirations. I can't speak on whatever was happening back in the 80s and 90s. I was started low riding in the early 2000s. I was barely 12 years old. Barely 35. So born 1990, I can't, speak on stuff that was, done back then. But to me, that I remember was we had Shakey's out there. We had Calimo Latino, the Tumi Pueblos, the 7-Eleven, Nimberries, that I remember those things. And that was one thing that I wanted to, to see back again. There was what was that taqueria that was next to Tropicana by the laundry man?
Mama Lupitas. Mama Lupitas.
Mama Lopitas. I remember when every Domingo, my mom and my sisters will, load up the car and go watch clothes over there and get a burrito from there and see, I didn't know them, but to see, the lowriders out there cruising on Sundays or even on the Saturday, and we're picking out the mandado from El Pueblo, and to see, lowriding back then, and to, want to be part of it, and now to be able to do something that what we did on July 15th, it's something huge, something, means a lot. You get me? I got a lot of words, but it's like I can't express myself right now. I'm still on the like, damn it, is it already done? Did the event already come?
Right.
So
So, with all that being said, like, what was the highlight? Like, besides obviously putting it all together, but what was the part that was special to all of you about this event?
what you guys gotta say?
I mean, to me, it was just bringing it back to King and Story. I mean, that's where everybody used to go cruise back in the day. When I was cruising in the 90s, that was like the main hub right there. You pull up there, everybody's hopping, chilling. I mean, that's the place to be. I mean, and it was every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We didn't need no flyers or nothing, or
rain or shine.
rain or shine. Everybody was out there. And I mean, when we say everybody was out there, everybody was out there cruising.
It was just lowrider community.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Right, even regular cars. When I was a kid,
Euros,
right, when I was a
mini
kid, I grew up cruising in the 90s.
Yeah.
And we were so young and broke, we could only imagine having a nice car. So we were riding around in buckets cruising or whatever. Obviously not every time, but as low as that,
Nobody cared. That's the thing.
No, and you go and post up, like you
Yeah.
said, right there in front of 7-Eleven or
Yeah, that's where it was at.
I've been seeing a lot of old school videos. Lou from Parliament, he had a lot of old school stuff, a lot of old school, footage. We sat one night and we started watching through all the videos, and that was another thing that Javier, I forgot. Nobody knew. But what was the idea that we had that we were gonna showcase that day? All those videos.
He wanted to make a video, just you know what I mean, and play it on stage. On stage, just so people, because people that are there. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people that moved out of town that came for this event, And, you know, if they're watching the videos, you know, everybody's gonna sit there like, oh, I remember being there. Like, oh shit, that's me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kind of like, you know, people would have been like, oh damn. And so that was his whole thing, but it didn't get to get edited and all that in time. So, but that would have been cool. It happens, you know, big old screen back there, you know, showing just videos from back in the 80s, 90s. I was just cruising how it was back in the day.
We had a whole plan, you get me, and never came through. But you know, maybe for next year, you know, we got to see a lot of, you know, old school faces, and we got to see when Chucky's wife was, you know, young out there, Christian and her caddy.
Oh no.
You know, all there's a lot of footage in there, you know.
She was just cruising. We just see the picture. She was like, wait a minute, was that her?
Rewind.
Like, oh shit.
And pause it.
This is another picture.
Send her a
Like,
picture.
yeah, she was, you know, this was the damn 90s, you know what I mean? So it's like, it was cool to see that, you know? Makes us feel old because we're like, holy shit, we got a lot more, you know, black hair, you know, more hair and this and that. But it's like, you see a lot of pictures of us and we're like, fuck, you know? But it was cool.
Time flew, man.
Yeah.
Good times though.
But something like this that you guys put together, I gotta say, would have never even been a possibility. You know, like the '90s, you have the nostalgia, you have the memories and everything. But this here in particular was just on a whole other level.
Yeah.
And I mean, I gotta say, it was just so. After all, how many cars was it? I remember I asked you that day. It was more than 600.
The architect, the one that set up the cars.
So yeah, we were at, like, you know, said, unfortunately, there was a lot of cars. It was over 600, like close to, you know, right at 600, but a little bit over. But unfortunately, I'd say even leading into that event, like even the 2 days, even up to it, we got a lot of calls as far as, man, I'm not gonna make it. They show pictures sending this guy flat tires, a couple accidents, right? Somebody got in an accident coming in, and you know, people just, unfortunately, family things. You know, grandparent, you know, grandfather passed away on one, and services were gonna be, you know what I mean? So a lot of people registered, but unfortunately couldn't make it because, you know what I mean? It just life, you know what I mean? And that happened. A lot of people were just a lot of car issues and a lot of his family, you know, a lot of things.
And you guys have people coming up from everywhere, right?
Yeah, we have from San Bernardino,
Yeah, sure.
a lot from like up NorCal.
I mean, we got a lot, like I said, from Sacramento area, a lot of Sacramento.
That's good.
I just got another message right now when we were driving over here about, you know, because the awards and all that, and just another Sacramento. I was like, damn, there's a lot of some Sacramento.
Yeah, they were.
Santa Maria, yeah.
I saw you guys up there at the lowrider event. Sacramento was deep up there that day.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was pretty cool to see, you know. And so like I said, a lot of support. And, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, like you're saying, you know, the thing that was satisfaction as far as this event, it was that, because on social media, as soon as I started posting it, a lot of the comments were like, oh man, you know, and they're from out of town now, because of course they moved out of there. But they're like, I used to cruise at the 70, you know what I mean? Just a lot of people were just like, I'm gonna be there, you know, I can't wait. You know, I used to cruise out when I was, you know, this and that, and it just brought back a lot of memories for a lot of people, even though it don't look the same, but the street's still the street. You know what I mean?
That's
And
the
that's
spot.
yeah, it's still King of Story. You know what I mean? But like I said, as far as the way it looked back then, completely different, but it still brought back a lot of memories for a lot of people, because a lot of the social media, you saw that a lot of people were commenting that about, you know, just talking about it. Like I said, Chicano Friday, you know, the guy Robert, he sent a picture, he was a little kid, he was just like a little baby in the back of his dad's 54, right at Jackbox right there, you know, and he sent the picture to him, and he even, you know, posted. But it's cool, you don't think to see that, you know. Of course, his dad passed away a long time ago, so it was kind of one of those things like, oh man, for him, I know, like, cool being here, you know what I mean? Like, this whole thing. For a lot of people,
Relives them.
well, yeah, there's some
Right.
really miss him. Yeah, so as soon as you say King of Story, it was like, shit, you know, like that, you know? And of course, you had a lot of people saying that it couldn't happen, you know, and it said it was a task for him, you know, but he made it happen, you know? But it was cool.
So what's your next plan, man? After you do something like this, you got another mountain to climb.
Sleep, record. We're on the sleeping right now.
Still sleeping? What was it, two weeks ago?
We haven't been sleeping because
All of you guys were zombies that day. I'm surprised you were even able to move around.
To this day, we still get messages. We're still trying, because the awards and all that stuff. I mean, that's still nonstop. I mean, I thought the next day was gonna be like, oh yeah, I can't wait. It was worse. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, as soon as
Which is like, you're gonna turn off your phone and close your door.
like, fuck. Yeah, that's why I said, I'll put the door. Don't come over. Nobody coming over from there. No, 6 in the morning. People already started replying. Hey, you know, how did I get my award? How did this and that? I was like, I screwed up by telling them, put my phone number on the thing for, hey, have any questions? Call him. Like, like, damn it. You know what I mean? But you know,
This almost reminds me of like when I had my first kid. Like, you know, you do the countdown to when she was born, and then now it's a count up.
I was like,
No, the game really just started. Right.
No, definitely.
You know, when we were putting the event together, you know, one of the things that I told them, I'm like, hey, we're gonna do this. You know, we're gonna be bumpy heads. You know, we're gonna go through this. You know, but by the end of the day, it's for the community and for the Lord. You get me? And when we were putting it together, we made his house, Javier's house, the
Home base.
home base command center.
Headquarters.
It was, you know, headquarters. You know, it's down the street. You know, from the event, and every night for like 3 weeks straight, every night we were there till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just going over everything. You know, hey, you know, he was doing his measurements. You know, I was dealing with the whole permits. You know, Chucky was dealing, you know, with registrations with Patino. You know, people were trying to register last minute and trying to get the shirts, you know, the shirt size, because a lot of people did not respond to their emails. So a lot of people did not get their shirts. So, you know, there was at least 100 people that did not respond back.
And originally that we had literally that we were out there like a month before the show. We were out there. Everybody was on social media trying to find this guy's name. And if they had a lowrider in his picture somewhere, I think it's him. And we just sent a message, hey, did you happen to register for this show? But you know what I mean? Because we couldn't get a hold of it. There's no phone number, and the email we tried, they wouldn't respond, or they weren't you know, their emails didn't, you know, I mean, they didn't go through. I guess they were just wrong or whatever. So we tried everything, Facebook, Instagram, anything we could to try to find these people. I mean, we had everybody. We had like analysts, everybody wanted the back, just trying to find me because we needed to get this. You know, we needed this information.
It's just the way that we had the system that, you know, you were purchasing your ticket through Eventbrite, you know, you were purchasing your entrance, but then it would not allow us to get your phone number or more information. So then we were relying on their email address to be able to, you know, send them a massive email and get all that information. And then for us to give them, you know, the shirt size and who are they rolling with, what club, you know, how many other solos. You know, I mean, we were trying to grab all that information. But a lot of people were not answering. So it was creating, you know, a little cluster. But, you know, they were able to, you know, handle it. You know, at the end, it played out. But, yeah, that was one of the challenges that we went through.
Man, it was a great event. Like everything you guys are talking about, obviously, it didn't show. You know, you guys look tired, but not like stressed out.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys had to do a whole lot. What about how many vendors did you guys have there? That was popping, man.
I think 60
Wow.
vendors at the end. We anticipated just to have 40, but at the end, after, you know, I gave him his property. I gave Javier, you know, hey, you got Story Road and you got half a king, and the other rest of the king that'll be for the vendors. You know, we anticipated just to have, you know, 40, but at the end we just, you know what, let it open, let it ride, let just fill it up. At the end we ended up having like close to 70 vendors out there.
Wow. It looked like everybody had a really good time. I knew a few of the vendors. I was going over there saying hello. Man, it was a vibe. It was a really good time, man. I mean, I'm curious. Are you guys gonna top this off? Are you gonna beat this? You like raised the bar real high,
Everybody has the same question.
right? Like this is kind of, you know, for real. Like congratulations. This is like, you know, all the way. So
You know what? I remember that night we were talking, Mama, we should just do it at a parking lot, something small. We're gonna shut down King and Story. Okay, you know, but I don't know, you know.
The first was always going to be iconic. It's going to be hard, no matter what. You can do it, you know. You can make the entertainer, some, you know, high big headline, you know, entertainment. Unfortunately, Cisco Kid didn't get to perform. You know, having to shut it down. But like I said, we could get a lot, but it's never going to be like the first one. People came because it was the first one.
Yeah.
They wanted to be
They wanted to be part of that
part
show.
of it, you know. And then a lot of people, like I said, I mean, just from social media, you could see like people were just like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like it was crazy, you know. The drone footages, the videos that everybody posting, it's like you could tell people were having a good time. I mean, that stage being right in the middle made it, you know, usually, like I said, sometimes when you go play stages on one area, it's not in the middle. The stage was right in the middle, so everything was in the middle. Everything was right in the intersection. So
you guys did a good job with that. Had a real good vision with the hop right there, the stage right behind it, the cars going in all different directions. It was so many cars. It's like each row was like its own little car show.
Oh no, definitely.
Definitely on another level. And I like how you guys had people, like you said, coming up from all the way from down south. Was the winner of the hop? He was from down south, correct?
Yeah, Big John.
The Majestic, no?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool, man. That you guys are like, I don't know if it's already being done, but that's cool that, Northern and Southern California are united. It's not just us and, Sacramento should have our back and we should have their back, right? But it's more than that. And this is about low riding. This isn't just about,
No, we want to show, like I said, what we're capable of doing out here. Because, for the longest time, everything you saw was kind of in LA, all the shows, all the big shows, everything. But, now, the last couple of years, it's like, we're doing big things out here. There's something to do. Every weekend, there's something. And it's like, so it's like, shit, we're trying to do something for everybody out here now. So this way, like I said, you get people come from up there just to say, hey, let's go see what's going on over there. You know what I mean? Because they see it on social media. I know, people, there's a lot of people, we got a lot of requests from people from down there, just want to see what it is. And they see these videos, it's like, holy shit, man, these guys, you know what I mean? They're not just doing little shows in the parks and this and that. These guys are shutting down intersections.
Big time.
Right. These guys are doing big things out there. And it's like, we got to go check that out next time or something like that. Just kind of like the way, how Chicano Park used to, I know it's downsized a little bit, but back, even 4 years ago, it was like, they completely closed off. All the people wanted to see that. And that's what we're trying to get to. You know what I mean? Something where people always want to come down here because there's this big event. You know what I mean? And
it's really cool and like a thing of pride that San Jose, in my humble opinion, right, as far as like going up north, this is like one of the, if not the last city that's kept the traditional lowrider culture alive, So, like Carlos's style with the big, what do they call it, donks or whatever they, right?
Hyphy car.
Right. Like once you pass San Jose, that's where that influence is. Like you see like a lot of like Frisco and Oakland style, they're all on big rims. Once you're on your big rims, you're no longer low riding. It's a whole other style, right? So like here in San Jose, it's a sense of pride. And I love what you guys are doing even, in general. And then on top of it, doing the King and Story event. So it's just like kind of brings everything kind of solidifies, like stamped and sealed, like, we've been about this and now this is where it started, man. Like, bro, how does it feel? Did I ask that? How does it feel to do that? Obviously it was very, special and everything, but dude, like, and you guys are saying you haven't really came back down from it yet. Like, so maybe I should ask you in like a week or something like that. But man, ¿cómo se siente, bro?
I'm just speechless, from seeing everybody that came out of, out of everywhere, from Southern California to Northern California to Arizona to Nevada, to be here, from all the West Coast, we didn't have, a lot of people from everywhere, but we had at least 2 or 3 people. We had people that flew in from other states, to hear that one of my friends was flying in from Hawaii, and from when he was flying in, and he was already at 6 o'clock, he was flying in, and he was, onboarding his plane, and to him tell me, he's like, hey bro, he's like, what did you do in San Jose? I was like, why? Because the only thing I seen in the waiting room, people that were boarding back in the airplane, was club shirts, something that had to do with
Coming from Hawaii.
No. Like leaving from San Jose, boarding another airplane to go back to Hawaii.
Oh, after the event.
Yeah, after the event. My boy's coming back from Hawaii, so he's getting off the airplane, and him when he got out of the door, out of the airplane, he's telling me, he's like, bro, what'd you do to San Jose? I was like, why? He's like, bro, it was like Comic-Con, for lowriding. The only thing you see was just club shirts, lowriding, apparel. Like you got to see it in the airport. So to hear that from him and to see, everybody's Instagram, all the tags, all the collabs that we're getting, I'm still speechless. Like I can't explain. Maybe ask me in a week or a month from now, but I'm just real grateful that everybody came together for one day and to make history, because this is literally for the history. It's one for the books that has never been done. You get me? everything that we had out there, everything that the staging to the beer garden at King of Story, never been a hurdle. To the vendors, to everybody in media, to the hoppers, to every single car that came out of town, all of us did history. It's one for the books. So to answer that question, I can't tell you how I feel yet. I'm still speechless on that one.
Do you guys agree? Is that how you feel as well? Or
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot.
You're already there. How you feel, bro?
It was a lot of work, bro. It was a lot of work. We bumped heads and everything, like we tell everybody. But at the end of the day, it was a good turnout, and I'm happy to be part of it. For the Lower community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was.
You guys should be proud as shit.
Oh, no.
Like, seriously.
I mean, honestly, it's all for the community because honestly, at the end of the day, us four, we didn't really get to enjoy it like we should have. You know what I mean? Because honestly, I never left the intersection. I barely kind of went in to go look at the cars. Only when they moved in. After that, you pretty much, you know what I mean? You're so zoned in this and that. I never even got to go into the vendors. And you know what I mean? I felt bad because that's my wife. She was kind of running that department. I never go that to go look to see how, everything worked out over there. Never went to go really walk around, you know what I mean?
I had her back, bro. She kept on firing me. Your sister's over here like, and then this guy, hey, we need you over here at the interstate. Like, oh my God, like, let me cut myself an 8 piece.
Let's go and look at that.
I understand.
Well, honestly, we didn't get to really enjoy it. I mean, I didn't honestly, you know what I'm saying? You kind of go for a little bit, but you're kind of getting pulled this way, pulled that way.
You're working.
Always needs some help. Yeah, someone always needs
Making sure everything's
Everybody
on
else
running
questions.
smooth. Right?
Yeah, like I said, I know his wife, she was pretty much stuck at the stage, organizing the whole stage, the performers and all that. So pretty much she was just there, you know what I mean? So I know she really didn't get to, you know what I mean? So I know Haile was over there kind of, so it just, everybody was, you know what I mean? And, it's kind of,
Yeah, this guy, I asked him for a favor and he ignored me and kept walking. I was like, okay,
You weren't the only one, bro.
he's in a different world.
I was getting calls on Monday. Hey, what's up with Christian, bro? Is he mad at me? Like, why? Like, he just like, hey, what's up? And then he just turned his back on me and
Dude,
like,
kept
nah, man.
moving.
I'm like, man, he's just running around like a chicken little head. I was, I was a Christian too. They had me everywhere, bro.
Hey, I do want to say, I'm sorry if I ignore you guys or I didn't, put attention to you guys. But, when you have thousands of people and you have hundreds of cars and you got so much that we have to, take care of, our head is everywhere, okay, what's going on over there? What's going on over here? And it was just,
A little overwhelming.
yeah, and I was supposed to have Patino. What did I tell you? When we were planning, I'm like, you're just gonna be next to me, and anybody wants to talk to me. What did I tell
Like,
you?
you get off and you give them the answer. You should know the answer by the time you're
the spokesman.
Yeah, well, by the day the event came through, I'm like, where's Patino? Where's Patino? It just, we were everywhere. You get me? And then once again, an event at that magnitude, it's never been done. So it was a learning base. It was a learning day. You get me? We got to learn a lot, from each other, from the community, from everybody, and from the location. Like, now we know what to do for next year, what not to do, what to do. How can we, do better? So it was a learning experience as well.
And whenever you say "don't worry," to worry.
Don't worry. If we come and ask you something, hey, should I work? No,
Worry, bro. Write it down.
I didn't worry.
it's in his head, but we don't know what that is. You know what I mean? Like it's only in his head, so we don't know what he's thinking. And that's the problem.
When he has a vision, he has a vision. He's good.
Hey, what about the big rig?
Oh, yeah. Hey, quick story. Close to the big rig.
That was a good one, man.
That's all Ramon could tell that story.
So it was a big rig supposed to come from Salinas. And these guys bumped heads right there because they're supposed to, put it like by the island. That this guy wanted to put it straight and this guy wanted to angle it. And they're just going back and forth, back and forth.
no.
We were
Like,
Too
many chefs. So got heated. Well, then they got to the point where Javier threw his phone and said, you know what? Handle your shit. Do whatever the fuck you want to do.
That has to happen.
No, we believe it. We got into it a few times, but it was just all for, you know what I mean? Nothing personal, but it was just kind of like, because he wanted to do it, but I'm like, I only had, originally when we first went out there, when we first talked about this, we all went out there, looked at it, we saw this whole intersection, we're thinking we could get a fucking 1,000 cars doing this thing. Is you? But then we went out there, I mean, so many times we went out there, literally nighttime, late. I mean, people probably watching. We're rolling, measuring this whole intersection. People are probably, we're crossing the intersection. We measured literally every inch of this. I'm talking about. We went back multiple times. And we started designing, drawing on how we're gonna get the car lit. shit, I don't have that measurement. Hey, well, let's go. So we get over there. Middle of the night, we're just walking.
Good thing you live around the corner.
The people are looking at us in their car. They're like, at the light, 10 o'clock at night. They're looking like, who the hell is this guy? Just, you know what I mean? But we're out there rolling just to get our calculations. Then we realize, like, fuck, we only can fit this many cars. And then this guy wants to put a fucking big rig. And then he wants to start putting 4 baggers.
Don't worry.
Yeah, so he starts telling us, yeah, I'm going to put a big. Then as we start going, I'm like, okay, I got a 600 car, this and this, that. Oh, yeah, then we're going to put this thing there. What the fuck? Like, now you're taking more spots for me. And they just kept, you know what I mean? And then they say with the big rig, oh, we're going to put this, we're going to angle it.
So you guys were trying to have more than 600 cars?
We thought we were going to get more than that. We could have, in reality.
If you had the space. If you didn't keep making up shit.
That's the thing.
We're gonna close it down at 800 cars.
He kept adding
800.
more.
But then when we realized, we actually got close, we actually calculated, we measured every inch of it. We went to parking lots and we started measuring. We went to Eastridge and I'm driving. He's outside the car, like rolling. We're rolling. We just figured out this many feet, we get this many cars, this spot. So we started calculating our own numbers, started doing, and we're like, oh shit. When we started doing everything.
Now you're telling me secrets, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I do think you sweated that out. But anyways, so then we just kind of started calculating everything. And then, of course, fire lanes. You can't just completely just say, oh, because we could have put cars everywhere.
Right.
But you got to have access. And then we didn't want them too close either because you need enough for the people to walk and spectators. So, yeah, like we had to think of all that.
Handicaps, strollers, bicycles, people walking their dogs. I mean, there's a lot of, coming in. Yeah, we had to lay them think about.
Yeah, and then like I said, so that's all came into play. And then when we realized that we're like, man, originally we were at like 530, and we're like, that's all I can get. That's it. I'm maxed out. And we were there. We were like, yeah, I'm thinking, oh shit, like what are we gonna do now? He's we can start trying to put them here, this and that. Finally said, you know what? Let's fucking reduce this because we're gonna get more space between cars.
And let's go measure again.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go measure again.
No, we ended up doing that. We ended up fucking going, calculating everything again. And I ended up getting like, I think was it like 60, something like that, more spots or something like that, 70 more spots by reducing like 1 foot less in between cars.
Wow.
So we ended up doing that. And we had to redo the whole map again as far as our layout because now we had to accommodate all these clubs, you know what I mean? And move them around and be able to do it. And that's when he opened it up again. He goes, hey, we got 60 more spots. So we're going to open up for 60 more spots. So this is it. This is like not even a week before. And I'm already like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? I'm already stressed out because we trying to get all this situated, all done. Not the day of, but we wanted it, you know what I mean? Like a week before. Of course. Do this. And then, no, we were to the last minute still trying to squeeze in people's cars and try to go do this and that. And
There was still hella people waiting to get in.
no, yeah.
too,
No,
that
exactly.
didn't get in.
We turned back around maybe about like 150 to 175 cars that we could like get in.
People, they were.
After you already hit the 600 mark.
Yeah. People were still sending.
Wow.
So, and unfortunately, a lot of people wait.
I haven't hit you up, but I knew that you were so busy you were going to respond. But I had a couple homies that wanted, hey, can you get me in? I don't think so, but I'll hit them up.
So originally with registrations we're at 650 plus 50 lowrider bikes. So I was already 700 registrations. Unfortunately, like you said, about 30 to 40 couldn't make it due to, I got flat tires. A lot of, incidents that did happen on trips that people were coming on the way over here. Flat tires or cars did not turn on or, family issues, it kind of did work out. But, I think if we would have got all those 650, it would have, yeah.
It would have been really tight. But I mean, we were
I don't know. At this point, if you don't mind me saying, in my humble opinion, that didn't make a difference. 600 and 650, you got it already maxed out. You know what I mean?
We're still trying to accommodate because we know everybody want to be positive. Since at the end of the day, it just makes it harder for us. Because I mean, honestly, this is close to almost a year in the works. I mean, somewhere around there. But it didn't really get hectic to the last, how many months? I mean, really what we started kind of more meeting, doing our things, kind of organizing.
2 months before?
Yeah, we started really kind of pushing. And then after that the last month, every day. I mean, we literally wouldn't leave my house till like 1 a.m.
This is like a pregnancy, a baby you guys had, right?
Honestly, and it'll be good. We all go to work. Except this retired guy here.
You got to deal with her for the rest of her life.
No, yeah, we all got like 3 hours sleep every night. And I said, go home, crash out for like 2 hours, and all of a sudden, knock at the door. This guy's back. Everybody's back at it again, and we're at it again.
You're like, again?
Yeah, everybody would be there. Like we'd be in the backyard working, and our wives would be inside, kind of doing their thing inside, and we'd just be like, what? working every night.
That's beautiful that you guys have the
no.
brotherhood.
Yeah.
And then your ladies are involved as well. So, everybody getting along.
He started having, what is that, separation anxiety. First day, the next day, what are we going to do today? I'm bored. He's like, every day we're meeting, so it's not like, what are we going to do?
Attached at the hip for 3 months.
It was funny. That shit was funny. We looked at it. He was all, I'm bored. I think, what are we going to do? Like, he was ready to meet up again. So it's like, the hell are we going to do now?
Every guys do a man every day.
Yeah,
every night.
Every day. He's like, what are we going to eat today? Oh, as far as eating, shit. We had the best of it. We had so much food there. Tommy California Wheels would be every day. He was like a kid. He was like, he's more ready to eat. Hell yeah. So, but it was cool. It was cool. You know what I mean? But like I said, the last, I say 2 weeks, it got really hectic. Really hectic. I'm talking about no sleep. I mean, it was tough. It was tough. Calculated stuff. I mean, these guys would leave and then Christian would be like right there outside the door. Sit down again.
I got an idea.
Wife would be like, Christian, get your ass up. And you'd be like, shit, here we go again. I mean, talking, I'd be looking at him just like, I'll be like, fuck. But yeah, he kept going and then he starts thinking. That's what he starts doing. He starts, you know what I mean?
You're a bit of a night owl too, huh?
Oh yeah.
This guy be getting cooking starting at midnight.
Oh yeah. They know now. I'm all like, let me just tell you one thing. When we were seeing at the garage, we thought about, King and Story, moving it from the SAP Center to King and Story. We literally, what time was it? 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night?
We're on there.
And then, hey, what are you guys thinking? I'm going, shoot. Oh, should we do it? They're like, oh, we can do it. Let's do it. I'm all right, but what are we going to name it? You get me? Like, what are we going to name it? And, King and Story, but who's going to present it? Because I don't want El Padrino Street Signs to present it or, one-on-one hot guys. I'm like, let's start, something new. And that's when, well, what are we going to call each other? And I'm like, So for 2-3 hours, we were just like, lowrider this, lowrider that. And I'm like, yeah. And, I want to say by like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm a lowrider allegiance, that's when the name came through, you get me? And to be able to sit there and telling these guys, hey, what are we gonna name it and what are we gonna do? It literally took, it was a mission, you get me? And then, once the name came through there, all right, we're gonna name it, Lowrider Allegiance. We were like, okay, so how is the logo gonna be? How are we gonna do this? And why Lowrider Allegiance? And it was already 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And they say, I'm already at home. And at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm sending them the
Message of fucking little.
the logo.
Yeah.
I'm making the logo through AI, ChatGPT. Shout out to what is it? ChatGPT. EBT. I'm like, hey, make me a logo that says, Lower Legions, and da 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 da. And and that was the first logo that we made. That was the Aztec one. I'm like, I make it look Chicano, Aztec, and this and that. That was the original, logo. But it's something that literally it was inspirational. It was motivational. Ideas come in and if you put your head to them, you can accomplish them. That's something that that night us talking about it and freaking a year later we did it. We did it together.
That's funny that you brought it up because that was one of my questions I had in the back of my head is what does allegiance mean to you guys?
All right, guys. Let's get yeah, because unity.
Well, that's definitely what it was. Unity, just pretty much and especially us 4 guys, for
Like brotherhood.
not all. We're not. I said we're we're different car clubs. He's there and he runs. We're not like just a bunch of guys from one club that decided to do this. We're all different. You know what I mean? We all come from different. He was looking more of a king from inspiration or this, that, and then Chucky with this big wheel. Like I said, we're not one club that just said, oh, let's do this as a car club. We're all separate, but we came together to do this.
And you guys also came with that same mindset for when you were inviting everybody from everywhere. It wasn't, I know there's some kind of politics or something, certain people don't want to invite. You guys are just open to everybody. And
We're open to everybody, any car, anything. Whoever wanted to come, comes.
We had,
Yeah, we got hot rods in there. We got everything.
That was one thing when the name came through. You get me about allegiance. It was to the community. It's commit. Something. Give back something to the people. Give something to the public. And it's part of being, we're pledging allegiance to lowrider, you get me, to the car culture, you get me? And that's the one thing I did tell him from the beginning, was the one thing we said, we wanted to bring everybody, exotics, you get me, muscle cars, hot rods,
Trucks. There's the
trucks, the big wheels. It's not just about lowrider.
the big rig, but it didn't come.
But we had two tow trucks out there, hanging the flags, you get me? And that, it became an allegiance, we all came together in one day, to the intersection of the King of Story. This is the one thing that I did tell them, I'm like, let's make it feel like if it was back in the days when everybody was out there, like you said from the beginning, and their hoodies, on the regular stock cars, certain families caring enough for, lowrider, but they were still out there, on the little Honda, little Toyota Camry, still cruising, Toyota Tercels. Be honest, that was my parents to give me a little Toyota Tercel. So you get me to be able to, be part of, something big. It didn't matter what you had, but we all came together as a community, as a family, to one intersection on one day and majestic.
That's beautiful. What cars that are what stood out the most besides the lowriders, the traditional lowriders that were you all are so known for? Obviously, you mentioned the exotics and trucks. So, I mean, what was the most extravagant or that stood out the most?
I think the tow trucks with the flags.
That was pretty cool.
The entrance.
Everybody people said that. Everybody took a picture.
Driving in, they're just like, oh,
Wow,
like,
yeah.
what the hell? Like this, welcoming as you're coming in for a King Road, coming from Tully, when you're driving, you see the big flags just hanging. They were huge, They were huge flags, so it's just kind of
It was
like,
like an entrance to the past.
yeah, it was cool. It was, you know what I mean? A lot of people commented on that. Just kind of like that. She was badass. Just,
So can I put the semis closer next time? Cool. Right?
Don't worry. I think you're driving a cable from building to building. We're gonna limit it to tow truck, but you could put a cable across.
20 cars first, right?
Exactly. Easy. Easy.
You get me? I think that the tow trucks, from Unique Towing, that was like the stamp. You get me? And that was badass from Unique Towing, to be able to bring those trucks and have those flags out there. It represents a lot. And then once again we go back to allegiance. It's unity. Coming in one place and being together. You know, you have American flag, you have allegiance in the middle, and then you have the Mexican flag. It's a lot. You get me? To see those flags got raised that night. I'm at, what was it, 12 o'clock at night?
Did you cry, bro?
Being honest,
He went to go hide somewhere. I don't know where you're at.
to be honest, to see those flags rise up that day, to see a vision that I kept on telling them, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put these flags. I'll bring you those flags.
when he ordered and he showed us a picture, we're just like, these things are huge.
That was a car cover.
Yeah, in fact, he had it over his car just to show what the Legion's flag looked like, and we're like, oh, damn, And he had told us this a long time that this is what he wanted to do, and we're like, okay, but we kept it hush hush because he's like, I don't want to let anybody know, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to keep it so that the day of, everybody's gonna be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, this is true.
Oh, you did it. You guys did it. Yeah.
It happened.
To see those flags, raised up that day, it literally hit the heart. You get me? It hit the heart, and we got goosebumps, and just sitting in that car and just watching them, just watching them, raised up. It meant a lot.
So that was like 10 o'clock the night before, right? Is that when you were telling me?
And yeah, and all of them were already in. So
No, it's funny because this guy's calling me, telling me, hey, are you coming? Where you at? The night before. And I'm like, bro, I got my own event going on over here. We had a creative culture event. And it was a trip too because I knew everybody was going to your thing the next day. So I didn't even bother calling anybody with lowriders. We had switched it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That was the first time because we have our own event here called Creative Culture, and it's typically the lowriders that are showcased. But since such a crazy big event was going on a couple miles down, and I knew because I got the inside scoop with you that everybody had to be in there by 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock. I was like, I'm not even gonna bother asking anybody to come out here till midnight. So he was all hitting me up. Where you at? I'm like, bro, I got my own thing going on right now. No, but dude, you guys did it, man. You guys like really knocked it out the park. And, and I appreciate you letting me and my team come in and get some media And, shout out to the homie, Bay Canine, B-Mock, of course, 4-footer footage, Barrio Dreams. You can name off a whole bunch of others.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna start with 4-footer. 4-footer. If it wasn't for the drum shot, I think people would not see the big vision that we were shooting for. His drone footage that day that we all were there at Higginsford, the beginning that in top of the tow truck and we were recording. That actually was able to showcase and tell people that this is what's gonna happen. These are the intersections they're gonna shut down. This is how big the event is gonna be. And that video right there was like to check on the blueprint, like, okay, yes, it's official. And that one made the flyer. It made basically the whole prompt, the whole show. So shout out to 4-footer, for doing that, and and everybody else. You get me? We have Street Low Media. We had Alex. I Hate Works. We had Hollow. We had NorCal. JJ's what is it? JJ's photography. JJ's photography.
Jay-Z photography. No, youngster. Who's good?
Youngster. Yeah, Joker Flicks. Well, there's a lot of people that were out there. I'm on the media. I was in charge of the media. You get me? We had Stephanie, take care of that. I had too much on my plate, so I couldn't, interact with a lot of the media. But you got to see a lot of people, that were out there, out of town and from town. With this event, we were able to, assign, certain things like, we had Chucky, aka, top-notch security, top flight security after him. The architect, he was doing the whole blueprint. My sidekick, he was supposed to, keep everybody away from me.
Your spokesman, but he mysteriously disappeared.
I went on my own. I was running around.
There was an ice chest at his canopy.
But Christian, he was the one that Patino, I need you here. Hey, Patino. You get me? ¿Qué pasó? And he held it down. He held the fortress down. And their wives as well. Barbara and Giselle. They were doing the vendors. Chucky's wife was stage manager. And then my wife was doing the whole, behind the scenes with the registrations, giving up, the tickets, scanning them in. So we all had a part of it. So,
Where are they at? They should be here getting interviewed as well. It sounds like they might have done more work than you guys.
They took. Hey, believe me, when we had our meeting, we didn't. I mean, they took care of us. Like they lived.
They were involved in everything.
They involved not only with the event, but just imagine we're out there all day, every day in the back. We're working. There's constantly friends, people coming over that just kind of want to see what's going on, and they constantly kept us. You guys thirsty? You guys go up there. You know what I mean? Like stuff that just they constantly took care of us in that end too. You know what I mean? Not just their part in the event, but just we never. You know what I mean? We got fed. We got everything. I mean, we had good food.
Good support, man. He said that behind every great man there's a great woman, right?
That's exactly what it was.
None.
They did everything that we needed.
I really enjoyed seeing that picture of you, of all of you.
Oh, yeah.
The 8 of you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, just doing this event together, like I say, we know each other for years. It just brought us tighter.
You guys are familia, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I felt like, it brought us tighter.
Yeah, definitely did.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
but are you guys ready for another event end of the year?
I don't even start talking about that right now, but there you go. He has another idea. Hey, let's relax a little bit, and then we'll talk about it.
You got to close it down all the way to white next time.
The city allows it. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge to try to do some closures like that with the city. But shout out to the city that allowed us, and shout out to San Jose PD, being out there as well. You get me? To be able to do this and being as successful it was, it couldn't, wouldn't have been done. I had these guys in the team. You know what I mean? It was just us sitting in the garage, freaking bullshitting and just saying, hey, why don't you just move it to King and Story? Like it was just so simple. Why don't we just do something there? And I'm like, okay, you get me? But one thing I did tell them, just be ready porque va a ser una chida, and whatever we do, if we got bump heads and all that, don't take nothing personal. Don't take nothing personal because we are gonna bump heads.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Jaden kind of, your son kind of initiated this. He kind of called you out on it.
Yeah. Yeah, one day cruising down on King Story, he's all, why don't you guys move the event from the Sap Center to King Story? You guys always talking about, King Story. Why don't you guys, do it here? And, and I told him, well, it cannot be done. He's all like, well, what's up with my pops? He said, don't let nothing stop you,
I was gonna tell you to tell that. 'Cause I knew you had told me that before.
Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let your dreams, get shut down. If you can't do it, figure it out. And
You had to practice what you preached, huh?
yeah.
That's a good one, man. Sometimes the apprentice shows the journeyman, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Hey, Jaden, if it wasn't for you, we would more sleeves. Jaden. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, fuck.
No, but you get me. It created something positive, something big, that showcased San Jose, to a different level. You get me, to something positive, to something that has never been done. And I hope that we're able to do this for the following years, and also too to show the community, because not only we're in the lowrider community, but the public forgotten history about King Story. You know, there's a lot of forgotten history that I can, go walk in that Metro, Metro PCS right there at Tropicana and be like, hey, you born nation in San Jose? Yeah. Hey, what year? Oh, 90s. Hey, do you remember when the Palos used to be here or Shakey's? No. You get me? And to be able to, show people why King Story is, to be able to, tell the story why we did that there, it means a lot. You get me? It's part of history. I know, these guys, you get me? I know Javier and Patino and Chucky, they got stories from they used to kick it out there at 7-Eleven, kick it out. What was that club that was at
Disco East.
Disco Eats,
Disco East. That was a little bit before time, but it was there. I remember going as a little kid. We never got to go in there. We were too young, but that was all there before it became home base and all that stuff. Remember?
No.
That Bonanza behind Shakey's, little store. I mean, it was just a lot. Mobile gas station.
And that was one of the main reasons why we were, trying to bring history back, trying to bring things that were forgotten. It is, yes, Story King is modernized. It's what it became now. But it has a lot of history. It has a lot of history from back in the days.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you guys are keeping it alive, if not reviving it. I don't know the right term to say, right? Like waking it back up. And yeah, big salute to all four of you. And so what's next, man? You guys not even going to talk about it? You going to do something in between, or?
Should we tell? We can tell now. Something, bro. No, you throw it.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot for next year again. If not, we have our second place already. Another spot.
Throw it out there. Or?
Yeah, throw it out there.
Yeah, if it's not King of Story, we'll do it.
Hold on. Do not say it.
They've been doing this for a while now.
It's a fucking skill like Logie Horn Hardy over here. Fucking.
But one thing that we, when we were putting the group together, and we did say, the vision for Allegiance, to go forward, and what are we going to be bringing to the community? What are we going to do? What are we going to, what's the future for Allegiance? We can tell you guys, but not just me. Yeah, we can. Two times. It's something that we talked about it, and I think we're gonna be going to LA. I think it's LA. That's the next shot. Going to either Weir or Van Nuys or Crenshaw or somewhere iconic up it.
Right.
And then maybe who knows? Hit up Vegas and shut down the main strip.
So like the Southwest, you're going. Are you thinking outside? Anywhere where they're low riding, or they have their own King and Story of every city.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, just ask for permission wherever they take us in. Push it.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
No,
So it's called Allegiance. Allegiance Presents.
right. No, I wish all of you the very best, and I congratulate you all individually and as a team and your wives that participated. And man, I can't wait to see for your guys' next event. And, you know, I'm proud to be a part of it. I appreciate you letting me in and get in there with the media and the backstage, the media passes. It was a trip. It was a trip. I almost felt like I was almost working like you guys, man. I was getting pulled left and right, so I could only imagine what everything you guys went through.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really do wish you guys all the very best. And, you know, once again, I congratulate you guys, the Allegiance team, straight out of San Jose. They're going down south. They're going to Vegas. Y'all better be ready. Get your popcorn ready, because these guys ain't messing around. So, I love to say that you guys are a big inspiration and very motivating for. These are just regular guys right here, ladies and gentlemen. They aren't born with no silver spoon. What you got to say?
We're not promoters. That's the one thing I gotta say. We're not promoters. We're just four guys with crazy ideas and just, you know, shooting, you know, and doing it for the community. You get me? It's one thing that we did tell ourselves, you know, we're not promoters. So unless you guys feel different.
Nope. I'm a carpenter.
I'm a partner. I'm retired.
I'm a union talker. I'm good.
You get me? And you know, it's just one thing that we're just trying to bring is something, you know, iconic, you know, for the community and for anywhere that we're welcome at. I know we're talking about also to Modesto. I think Modesto will be
That'll be good there.
that we're gonna, you know, try to go do out there. We're talking to Eastside Hydraulics. So for Mark, you know, he wants to do something out there. So, you know, it's something, you know, something that we're just trying to do positive for the community. You know, and we're not gonna, you know, get rich out of anybody. We're not here trying to make money, but with the connections that we have and with the, you know, plans that we have, I think it will be something positive for everybody, for the community. So
That's beautiful, and touching other communities outside of your own, and the Allegiance uniting and bringing everybody together and enjoying each other. And also, you know, I love the idea of just like breaking the barriers of not just northern or southern, or, you know, or even more north. Like we got Sacramento, we got Vegas coming through. You said you got people coming out from Hawaii. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I can't wait to see your guys' journey, man. But is there anything else that you would like to add in?
I don't know, you know, I just want to say, you know, thank you to, you know, to you guys, you know. I don't know how many times I say thank you. I know you guys a good tomahawk steak dinner.
We're still waiting for that.
Yeah, you get me, and thank you for being part of something huge, and just be ready for 2026. That's the only thing I gotta say.
No.
You know, it's gonna be more iconic, I hope. And if you guys got anything to say, just let me know now. But cameras on.
This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, thanks to everybody that came out, you know, the sponsors, people that, you know, made it out of town, out of state.
Everybody got along. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody for supporting, and, you know, like we said, the wives too, they get credit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens 2026.
Beautiful. Well, if you guys don't know, on Instagram, their handle is Allegiance SJ. We got Ramon, of course, Javier, Carlos, and Christian. These gentlemen did a great show. I can't wait for the next one, and I can't wait to see what else is coming. And Christian, do you have anything else to say?
You know what? I do just want to say, you know, thank you to all the car clubs that came by, you know, out of town. I know Patino just, you know, said it in to the media, to the vendors, the food vendors, to all the sponsors. Without you guys, this would have not been possible. And to the community, you know, for allowing us to do something huge. I know the shopping centers, you know, they killed it that day. A lot of, you know, Tropicana and Target and Apenas. Modern Final, I know they were Starbucks shut down at 1 o'clock.
No way.
You ran out of product up front.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so, you know, shout out to everybody that was part of this and to all the support. And I hope to see you guys 2026.
You heard it first right here. Christian El Padrino Street Signs, the Allegiance team, 2026. King and Story is going to be back. We'll see you there.